Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. For today's box opening, we've got our first Brothers War Draft booster box. That's right, we've opened up set, we've opened up collector, we've opened up pre-release, but we have not opened up a draft booster box. So let's crack this thing open, see what kind of value we can find inside, and then we'll run the full MTG box analysis at the end, so that way you can have an understanding of what to expect if you were to open up a draft booster box of the Brothers War. So we'll go ahead and slide out our massive pile of packs, especially compared to a collector booster box. And let's just start cracking these open. We'll go through a few of these kind of slow, just so you can kind of get a feel for the packs. And then we'll speed on up. All right, so in this case, we're going to see a Mishra's Juggernaut, followed by a Blanchwood Prowler, a Gixian Infiltrator, a Veteran Power Blade, a Retrieval Agent, followed by a Atomical Scrapsmith, a Power Stone Engineer, a Power Plant Worker, an Ashnod's Intervention, then an Epic Confrontation, a Spectrum Sentinel, Saraneth Steel Seeker, a Yoltani Descendant, and wow, look at that. First pack, we got a Shihili Filigree Master Borderless Mythic showing on up. Very nice hit, especially for a draft booster box. And then we're going to see a Defense Grid Rare coming in from the Retro Artifact set, with the Bane of My Existence, a non-token token. All right, so that was a really good first pack. Maybe we can turn a profit on this draft booster box. Let's see. All right, so we have the Argothian Opportunist, followed by the Emergency Weld, the Ambush Paratrooper, the Desynchronize, the Bitter Reunion, Burrowing Razor Maw, followed by a Scrapwork Rager, a Tassius Dig Site, a Prison Sentence, a Scatter Ray, Demolition Field, followed by a Gruesome Realization, then a Lay Down Arms, and we're going to see a Mishra's Foundry coming in as our rare, with a Millstone coming in from the Retro series. And then we've got some punch cards in the back. So hopefully that kind of gives you enough of a feel of how the packs are laid out. So now we'll just kind of skim through a few of these. So we've got ourselves a Clay Revenant, Philagi, Gixian Skullflare, the Swift Gear Drake, the Subjugation, No One Left Behind. Then we're going to see a Zephyr Sentinel, Thropter Architect, and a Gwenna Eyes of Gaia coming in as our rare, with a Mind's Eye Mythic coming in from the Retro Artifact series, with a Fall of Krug foil, and then a blank card in the back. All right, so we got the Opportunist, the Desynchronize, Supply Drop, Transmogrant Altar, followed by a Great Desert Prospector, Steel Exemplar, and a Soul Partition coming in as our rare, with a Gilded Lotus from the Retro series, and a Full Art Forest with a Power Stone. All right, Killzone Acrobat, with a Curate, Lauren's Escape, Mind Worker, Evangel of the Synthesis, the Haywire Might, good hit from the main set, with an Argivian Avenger, and an In the Trenches Mythic coming in from white as our Mythic from the main set, with a Sigil of Valor and a Forest Dryad. All right, Survivor of Corleos. It's going to be our first card with a Goblin Blast Runner, Obliterating Bolt, Blanchwood Armor, followed by Meticulous Excavation. A Misery Shadow is going to be our rare, with a Mishra's Bauble, and an Overwhelming Remorse with a Power Stone. So it's been a minute since the set was released. Are people still liking this set? I'm still enjoying playing it. I've been playing quite a bit of it on Arena and just kind of seeing how the cards will slot into pre-existing decks that I have. Got a Gnawing Vermin, Calamity's Wake, Thran Power Suit, and a Tyrant of Care's Ridges as our rare, with a Scrap Welder and a Full Art Mountain with a soldier in the back. So I haven't yet just done a deck with these cards in it, so I'm not sure how well they kind of stack up with themselves, but I do know that they do slot into quite a few decks that I've already got built. So we've got a Lauren, Disciple of History, followed by a Philagi Excavation, Mask of the Jade Crafter, and we're going to see a Hajar Loyal Bodyguard as our rare, with a Goblin Charbelcher, and another blank card in the back. So no big hits as of yet, except for we got Shihili in the first pack, but no cards over $10 yet, I'll say that. We got a Heavyweight Demolisher, a Take Flight, a Thran Veil, and then we're going to see an Argoth Sanctum of Nature coming in here. Good land hit. This is, of course, the bottom half of one of our meld cards. And then we've got an Ichor Wellspring with a Meticulous Excavation coming in foil and a Power Stone token. All right, Tuanos Tinkering, Dredging Claw, the Air Marshal, the Gaia's Gift, the Arbalist Engineers, followed by a Forging, the Anchor, Yoltani for Frontliner, and then a Perennial Behemoth coming in at the back there as our rare, with a Liquid Metal Coating, a Full Art Plains, and a Soldier token. I'm going to take just a second and move our stack of commons back a little bit to make myself some room, and keep rolling. So this is going to be pack number 11 for us. We got a Mightstone's Animation, the Infantry, the Goliath, the Warplow, the Ironclaw Crusher, the Power Stone Prodigy, Audacity, followed by a Painful Quandary with a Phyrexian Revoker and a rare, the Stasis Coffin coming in. Nice to see that. All right, we got ourselves the Phalanx Vanguard, the Latinam Adept, Excavation Explosion, the Retrieval Unit, the Worker, the Commando, the Fabricate, the Excavation Prodigy, Monastery Swift Sphere, and we're going to see a Tassius Welcome coming in, a little bit of value out of white, with a Foundry Inspector and a Power Stone. All right, so that takes us through 1/3 of the box. Now we're moving into stack number 2 here. We got a Wasteful Harvest, Carrion Locust, Disenchant, Ravenous Gigamole, Horned Stoneseeker, with a Hulking Metamorph, and a Philagi Vanguard. And we're going to see an Arcane Proxy coming in as a mythic hit. This holds some significant value, over $5 right now, with a Springleaf Drum and a Burrowing Razor Maw with a blank card in the back. So that's going to be our best hit so far. Got a Scrapwork Mutt, Yoltani Medic, Archaeologist, Chain Dancer, Stalker, Courier, Blitz Automation, Fog of War, Thropter Mechanic, Combat Thresher, Third Path Iconlast. This card currently does hold a little bit of value, just over $1. Then we're going to see a Hall of Tagson as our rare with a Self-Assembler and another blank card, or add card, non-token token. Regardless, waste of cardboard. Got ourselves a Stern Lesson with the Strike, the Down, the Gix's Caress, the Deadly Repose, Coilos Rock, the Stalwart, Machine Over Matter, Giant Growth, Air Marshal, Dreams of Steel and Oil, Sushi Cave Guard with a Levitating Statue, and a Simeon coming in as our rare with an Ivory Tower and a Power Stone. So still want to see an Urza Lord Protector, Portal to Phyrexia, a Myrel. That would be great. If we can see at least 2 of those in this draft box, I will be happy. So we got ourselves a Recruitment Officer, Skyfisher Spider, and a Sky Strike Officer with a Platinum Angel in schematic coming in from the Retro Artifact series. Does hold a couple of dollars in value, with an Island and a Golem token. So from the Retro Artifact series, you're really looking for either the Wormcoil Engine or the Mox Amber. Those are the only 2 cards currently valued over $10. So we got the Perimeter Patrol, Sibling Rivalry, the Explosion, the Retrieval Unit, the Worker, the Cadence, Battlefield Butcher, Spotter Thropter, and we're going to see a Llanowar Waste coming in from the Land Cycle, with another Goblin Charbelcher coming in from the Retro series. All right, we're going to kick this one off with a Mishra's Juggernaut, the Power Blade, the Agent, the Intervention, the Confrontation, the Wings, the Drake, the Refinery, Ashnod's Harvester, Arms Race, And we're going to see Ashnod Flesh Mechanist coming in as our rare from the main set, with an Elsewhere Flask, and an Arbalist Engineers uncommon, and a blank card in the back. So I'm kind of curious, if you wouldn't mind commenting below, how many of you bought set boxes versus draft boxes for this set? I know there's been, some talk of draft boxes maybe one day going away. I don't think it's going to go away right away, but I'm wondering how many people are actually still purchasing draft boxes. They're not jumpstart boxes, but I think they're kind of getting close to that. All right, we got a Fade from History showing up from the main set with a Foundry Inspector, a Full Art Forest, and our punch card in the back. I'm a huge fan of the collector booster boxes, but I'm mostly a collector. I do play on occasion. I have plenty of cards to play with, but I prefer to take the really valuable ones and kind of tuck them away for a later date. Ashnod's Intervention, the Confrontation, the Static Net, the Fall of Krug, with a Cradle Clear Cutter, and an Over the Top coming in as our rare, with a Jalum Tome, an Island, and another blank card. So many blank cards in this particular box. Still better than a non-token token. So we got a Burrowing Razor Maw, the Acrobat, the Firebomb, the Recommission, the Curate, the Strongbow, the Sentence, the Ray, the Supply Drop, Airlift Chaplain, Obstinate Baloth, Hero of the Dunes, Giant Cindermaw, and we're going to see the Stone Brain as our rare, with a Lodestone Golem and a Power Stone in the back. And because I knocked over a few cards, it is definitely time to reorganize. So we'll just clean up our stacks real quick. There we go. And moving into, got about 3 more packs in this stack. So this is pack number 15 or 16 for us. So we're more than halfway through and still no big hits. So we got ourselves a Depth Charge Colossus, Mishra's Domination, the Argithian Sprite, the Fracture, the Vanguard, the Wings, the Swiftgear Drake, the Subjugation, the Evolving Wilds, the Pyrrhic Blast, Symmetry Matrix, Alloy Amethyst, and we're going to see a Sarenth Great Worm coming in from the main set. This is going to hold a little bit of value as a mythic, followed by an Ornithopter and a Cradle Clear Cutter in foil. And there it is, the non-token token. All right, Moment of Defiance, followed by Union of the Third Path, the Lesson, the Strike, Shoot Down, Gix's Caress, the Recluse, the Blast Runner, Thraxo Demon, Dwarf Forge Chantler, Cliff Stomper, Repair and Recharge, Junkyard Genius, and a Brother's End coming in. This rare is going to hold a little bit of value. It's one of the few from the red that actually has some value. Then we have a Burnished Heart with a Power Stone in the back. All right, so pack number 24 here for us. Got Twanos Tinkering, the Claw, the Cavalry, Third Path Savant, Wasteful Harvest, Mishra's Onslaught, the Remorse, the Escape, the Mine Worker, the Cohort, Splitting the Power Stone, a Spectrum Sentinel, followed by Yoltani Descendant, and a Titania Voice of Gaia coming in here. Very nice to see this. This card is going to be valued over $10, and it is the other half of the card that we saw earlier. So we've got ourselves a big hit and a full meld in this box. We've got ourselves a Bone Saw and a punch card. So it's nice to see that we are going to get one of the big hits. That is going to be the 4th best card that we can get in the regular set, not including the retro artifacts. So we got a Latinham Adept, the Rock Hunter, the Honor Guard, the Defiance, the Union, Stern Lesson, the Elite, Unleash Shell, Raised to the Ground, Disciples of Gix, Demolition Field, Gruesome Realization, and we're going to see the Stasis Coffin, this time in non-foil, followed by another Ornithopter, and a Forest, and a blank card. All right, so we got a Deadly Repose, followed by the Koilos Rock, Mishra's Juggernaut, the Prowler, the Infiltrator, the Power Blade, the Rager, Tassia's Dig Site, Prison Sentence, Scatter Ray, Sarenth Steel Sleeker. Nope, yeah, Steel Sleeker. No One Left Behind, Zephyr Sentinel, and we're going to see an Urza's Silex coming in. Mythic from the main set. Very nice to see that. Holds a little bit of value, just over $1. And a Maze Mime Tome, and a Soldier Token in the back. So I would like to see one more big hit, just to make sure that I can feel confident that I'm going to see at least my money back on this. So we got the Rust Goliath, the Gigamole, the Stalwart, Machine Over Matter, Giant Growth, followed by the Desert Prospector, Lay Down Arms, Transmogrant Altar, and we're going to see a Transmogrant Crown coming in as our rare, followed by Swiftfoot Boots and a Disenchant in foil with a Power Stone. All right, got a Whirling Strike, the Shoot Down, the Gixis Caress, the Repose, Coilos Rock, Juggernauts, Drop, Airlift Chaplain, Hoarding Recluse, Goblin Blast Runner, Thropter Architect, followed by another Haywire Might, Evangel of Synthesis, and a Hercule's Final Meditation coming in as our rare, with a Howling Mine and a Thropter token. All right, just a few more packs to go. Just stack up our commons one more time. There are a total of 540 cards in here, so they do kind of start to add up and get in the way. All right, so we got ourselves a Retrieval Agent with the Scrapsmith, the Opportunist, the Emergency Weld, the Paratrooper, the Air Marshal, Gaia's Gift, Excavation Explosion, the Stone Retrieval Unit, Steel Exemplar, Obliterating Bolt, then a Blanchwood Armor, followed by a Razor Lash Transmogrant as our rare, with a Sword of the Meek coming in schematic form. And then we're going to see ourselves a Swamp and a Power Stone. So believe it or not, in all the boxes I've opened on the channel, we have not opened a Mox Amber yet. So if you're out there, Magic Gods, please grant us this favor. All right, Thraxodemon, Dwarven Forge Chanter, Warlord's Elite, Argivian Avenger, Gnawing Vermin, Calamity's Wake, and we're going to see a Battlefield Forge from the Land Cycle with a Pristine Talisman and a Liquimetal Coating coming in foil schematic. So that's kind of cool to see. So that's our first foil Retro Series artifact, and it happens to be a schematic. Unfortunately, it's an uncommon and not a high-value card, but still neat to see in a draft booster box. So we got the Blanchwood Prowler, the Infiltrator, the Power Blade again, the Agent, the Scrapsmith, the Opportunist, Tower Worker, Wing Commando, Trent Stalker, the Courier, Excavation, Philagi Excavation. So we had Meticulous Excavation and then the Philagi Excavation. And then Lorien, Disciple of History, with a Steel Seraph and a Chromatic Star and a Soldier. So we got about 5 packs to go. A little bit nervous about the overall value of the box. Definitely going to be lots of 5 and 10 cent cards in here. But only a few so far that I've seen that were, I'd say, over $2. Not too many to really kind of bring back the big value for the box. So we've got a Thran Power Suit, followed by a Take Flight, Heavyweight Demolisher. Then we're going to see Visions of Phyrexia as our rare, with a Mishra's Bauble, followed by an Autonomous Assembler coming in. It is a rare, it is a foil, but not a high value. All right, then we have a Yultani Medic, followed by the Philagi Archaeologist, the Chain Dancer, the Perimeter Patrol, the Gixian Skullflare, Survivor of Korlos, Blitz Automation, Fog of War, Energy Refractor, Power Stone Engineer, Arbalist Engineers, Mask of the Jade Crafter, Forging the Anchor, and then we're going to see a Mishra's Command coming in as our rare, followed by a Perilous Vault Mythic from the Retro Series, and a Power Stone token in the back. All right, so 3 packs to go. We got the Emergency Weld, the Paratrooper, the Desynchronized, the Bitter Reunion, Burrowing, Stalwart, Machine Over Matter, Giant Growth, Air Marshal, the Thran Vigil, Iron Claw Crusher, Urza, Power Stone Prodigy, and then we are going to see Teferi, Temporal Pilgrim coming in here. Another $10+ card, just over $10 right now, so nice to see that mythic. And then we're going to see a Well of Lost Dreams, followed by a Plains and a Soldier Token. So feeling a little bit better now that we got 2 cards valued over $10, so we got about $30 right there in value. And these are draft boxes, so they're not terribly expensive. But it's still nice to, hit the lottery every now and then on these. So we got the Cavalry, the Power Plant Worker, the Intervention, the Confrontation, the Frontliner, Excavation Prodigy, Monastery Swift Spear, and we're going to see a Fortified Beachhead coming in from the land cycle with a Millstone in the back and a Combat Thresher in foil with another blank card. All right, last Brothers War Draft Booster Pack, and then we'll get into the full MTG Box Analysis. So we got an Urza's Rebuff, Sibling Rivalry, Gnarl Pallbearer, Disfigure, Tassia's Onulet, Depth Charge Colossus, Gaia's Gift, Excavation Explosion, Stone Retrieval Unit, Tower Worker, Horn Stoneseeker, Audacity, a Hulking Metamorph, and our last rare is going to be a Twanos the Toymaker. And then we're going to see an Icor Wellspring with a Power Stone in the back. So give me just a moment to get everything sorted, organized, and I'll be right back with the MTG Box Analysis. In today's MTG Box Analysis, we're going to review set distribution, distribution versus observed cards in this box, the coverage that this box provided us, duplication metrics, the set value, the value that we saw in this box, and then we're going to close it out with a summary. If you want to go deeper into the analysis and see all the metrics for this box as well as 50 others, simply join the channel at the Give Me the Data level. The Brothers War set contains 377 total cards. There's 277 that are regular frame, 10 full art basic lands, 5 jumpstart rares, and 77 extended art cards. Draft booster packs can see cards numbered 1 through 287, as well as 293 to 300, which means that we can't see any of the 5 jumpstart rares or the 77 extended art cards. Now let's pivot to the sets distribution versus this box. This chart shows all the cards we saw during the opening from the main set with the foils in orange, non-foils in green, and the set in gray as the baseline. In the non-foil space, we saw a variance of 8 cards between the primary colors of Magic, with black having 62, and white, red, and green all having 70 each. We saw 9 of the 10 full art basic lands, along with 1 non-foil borderless in this box. In the foil space, we only saw 10 cards, but none in blue. In this draft booster box, we saw 216 unique non-foil cards, which accounts for 73% of the 295 cards we were eligible to see. Our highest coverage was in red, seeing 29 of the 32 possible cards for 91% coverage. And despite the packaging stating that we could see non-full art basic lands, we didn't see any in these 36 packs. As I mentioned earlier, we only saw 10 foils in these 36 packs, which means that we saw 1 foil every 3.6 packs. These 10 cards provided us 3% coverage of the 295 cards from the main set we could have seen in foil. Now let's pivot into the Retro Artifact subset. In this box, we saw 31 non-foil retro-framed artifacts, 5 schematics in non-foil, and a single foil schematic. Removing duplicates, we saw 28 of the 63 retro-frame artifacts for 44% coverage, and 5 of the 63 schematics for 8% coverage. Now let's take a look at coverage by rarity. The Brothers War set contains 101 commons, 80 uncommons, 69 rares, and 25 mythics that can be pulled from a draft booster box. In the non-foil space, we covered 100% of the commons, 89% of the uncommons, 29 of the rares for 42% coverage, and 7 of the mythics for 28% coverage. In the foil space, we didn't hit any mythics, but we did see 2 rares, 5 uncommons, and 3 commons. In total, this box contained 31 rares and 7 mythics from the main set. In the Retro Artifact subset, we covered 19 of the uncommons for 53% coverage, 11 of the rares for 18% coverage, and 3 of the mythics for 10% coverage. In the foil space, we only saw 1 uncommon for 3% coverage of that rarity. Out of the 503 cards from the main set, none of the foils were duplicates, but 139 of the non-foils were repeated 277 times, which means that 55% of the cards from the main set were duplicates. Before we jump into the value of this box, let's baseline with a look at the value that we could have seen. Currently, there are 10 cards from the main set and 4 retro artifacts valued over $10. There's 1 card from the main set and 7 retro artifacts valued between $5 and $10. And there are 31 cards from the main set and 30 retro artifacts valued between $1 and $5. The remaining 338 cards, including 85 of the retro artifacts, are valued under $1. If you're to add up all of the 295 cards from the main set eligible to be pulled from a draft booster pack, you'd have a value of $308.70. The 126 retro artifacts and schematics have a market value of $232.77. Combine them, and the 421 cards have a market value of $541.47. Now that we have a baseline for the set value, let's look at the value that we saw in this box. In the non-foil space, we had 2 big hits, and that was the Teferi Temporal Pilgrim at $10.26 and the Titania Voice of Gaia for $19.11. We didn't see any cards valued between $5 and $10, but we did see 12 cards valued between $1 and $5. The remaining 479 non-foils from the main set were valued less than $1. In the foil space, we didn't see a single card valued over $1. That's right, every one of our foils was under $1. Moving into value by rarity, in this box we saw 7 total mythics. 2 of these were valued over $10, giving us $29.37 in total value. 4 were valued between $1 and $5, giving us another $11.83 in value. And 1 of our mythics was valued under $1. None of our 31 rares were valued over $5, but 5 of them were valued between $1 and $5, giving us $9.22 in total value. The remaining 26 rares are currently valued less than $1. We saw 3 uncommons valued over $1 in this box, but none of the commons, full art lands, were valued over $1. We did see a single token valued over $2 though. So how did this box perform? Well, I purchased this box from Amazon for $111.43. Today we opened up 36 packs containing 15 cards each for a total of 540 cards. The 33 tokens have a value of $7.44. The 37 retro artifacts from the subset have a value of $16.12. The 10 foils that we saw have a value of $1.67. And finally, the 493 non-foils from the main set have a combined value of $108.13. This brings the grand total up to $133.36, which is a gain of $21.93 and a return of 120% of the box price in card value. For those of you interested in cards valued just over $2, the numbers look like this. In total, we saw 8 cards valued over $2 in this box, and they have a combined value of $48.02, which accounts for 36% of the total box value. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of these openings or the corresponding MTG Box Analysis. Until next time, do something amazing.